Hi, my name is Mohammed Rowther. I'm going to talk about how we used Scrum Scale in a digital media organization. We were developing a new generation TV and a mobile app. So what it looked like a year ago when we started off with a waterfall model, we had a large kind of a Scrum team, which was more waterfall-y. We had about 12 to 15 members. As you can see, we had an army of team members with multiple devs and testers. This actually caused a lot of issues. We weren't focusing on delivery. We were losing targets. There was a lack of collaboration, the lack of communication, and we were missing deadlines. So this actually caused a lot of problem for the delivery, and we had to focus on something that would actually give us a proper solution. So we tried to call this more of a waterfall approach than a Scrum approach because of the large size of team. And the QA teams were actually, the quality assurance, they were actually struggling with the backlog, and it was creeping up for them. The sprint after sprint, we had a lot of test tasks that was getting carried off, and we were never achieving the target at the end of the sprint. So what we did, we tried to focus on getting feature teams across various areas and keep the team size small. We focused on having about 5 to 7 team members within an area, and also try to have a shared business analyst who could actually work across the product owners. So we had a dedicated product owner, we had a couple of team members with devs and test, and we tried to have BAs who were kind of who had technical knowledge, and they could interact with the business. So this was the kind of model we tried to approach, and we went through a BDD, which is the behavior-driven development process, and also looked at improving our process in Scrum. So we refer to the Scrum Repair Guide, which helped us to actually improve the process the way we were actually looking into it. And we also introduced Scrum Master Clinics to improve the quality of the way we were actually working in the Scrum area, facilitating different kind of activities to enable them to actually work across, get new ideas, get the new way of working. And so this Scrum Master Clinic actually added a lot of value. We also tried to bring in some coaches to empower the team, to enable them to find solutions across various areas. So we also tried to focus on the Scrum's team and get the EAT in place. We're not perfect, but we tried to do that, and we tried to get the execs and the directors in to actually act as an EAT area. So this is a typical model that we actually focused on. We tried to build teams across various areas. So we had the UI team, we had mobile and DevOps, and other areas that had to focus on getting into Scrum at Scale model. And we had a couple of teams, though they are into they kind of transitioning in from the waterfall to Scrum. We have like an end-to-end team and DevOps. They're working together. We're trying to get them in place. But this is what our current area looks like. So we had the daily Scrum, we had the Scrum daily Scrum events. We tried to focus on getting the Meta Scrum events in place. So it really worked for us. But apart from this, what is the challenge we faced in actually getting this done? So one biggest challenge was to get the product backlog items prioritized by the executives. So we had to get the product backlog in line. So we created an action where we had some workshops created for them. We had them for the 2-day workshop and try to get the product backlog items prioritized. We tagged the items. We defined, okay, what's the one thing that you want to have? And we categorized what is the must-have item, what could be an option, and what is unnecessary. So we created that tags, and we ended up from a 0% to 50%. And there was a lot of cards, communication, and collaboration in that workshop. We followed the 3 C's principle. And at the end of the session, the customers, the stakeholders, the execs were happy that we had a well-defined product backlog to actually start off with. The other challenge was to actually create a reference model. So we wanted a perfect reference model. And looking at the reference, we were thinking, okay, the devs and the testers have to work together. So we decided let's try and implement pair programming, try and have in-sprint testing and in-sprint automation. Let's not try and take in too much of work and not deliver something at the end of the sprint. So the focus was to have small stories, work on them consecutively, sequentially, and try and get this at the end of the sprint. So the devs and the testers were actually working together, and this actually helped them. And the other challenge was to do with the collaboration between the POs, the product owners, and the business analysts. So they had because there were two different areas. One was the business and the technical, so they had to get along. They had different priorities. So we tried to build a story mapping session, try to work on areas that actually add value to the customers. So instead of having kind of personal priorities, so the technical and the business teams worked together really well after the story mapping session. The last challenge that we faced was resistance from non-agile teams. So we were kind of thinking, okay, how do we get the non-agile teams into this model? So we decided to have a why workshop. Why agile? So we focused on what is the organization goal that was required. So was it high performance? Was it team collaboration? Was it quality product? Okay, all this is in place, but we could achieve all this through agile. Let's use agile as a means to achieve all these factors. So that was our goal. And we did some sessions about agile mindset, about how being agile, and we achieved 50% of the teams to get into this model. At the end, what was the outcome? What did we achieve at the end? So there was team collaboration. We had reduced team sizes. So if you see before, we had about 15 people, and now we've got about 5 to 7. So that was a great achievement for us. And also the effective cross-team collaboration. We had enough communication going on, so there was no blockers, everything was resolved, and also the team's motivation increased. There was joy at work, and all this resulted, and the management was happy because we had 80% increase in the delivery time. So what we had before and after, if you look at the automation coverage, we were 25%, and after this model, we achieved about 75%, and we were doing wonders. And getting up to 80% delivery time was the goal, and we achieved that, and it was great. Yeah, thank you.
Who was included in your why workshop?
So in the why workshop, we had the directors who leadership team. We had them, and we had the immediate managers who could actually and the scrum masters. We had all of them in there, and we kind of went through what exactly they wanted. So we came up with 3 charts. Okay, what exactly did you want? Forget about agile. Let's talk about what you want. So the focus was on quality product. We want to have high performance teams, and we want to have a great product. We want to keep happy customers. So that was the aim. So we then decided, okay, let's try and look at that, and how do we achieve that? At the end, the mindset changed, and they felt, okay, the only way to achieve this was to use agile, and then we came up with Scrum, Kanban. We could use anything. So then we decided, fine, let's do Scrum. Yeah.
So Mohammed, you talked about getting the executives in a room for 2 days for that workshop. It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any trouble getting those executives in there? And if not, what made it so easy?
So the first thing was it wasn't in-house. We set up the meetings outside of the workplace. We said there's going to be free lunch. There's going to be good stuff. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have everything there, and it's going to be a casual environment. You could come in there, and you can have fun, and we're all going to work together. The aim is not about. The aim was to get a decent backlog prioritized, and what we actually wanted to do was to keep our customers happy, and that was the goal. So they were happy because there was free food, there was free drinks, and there was a lot of things that was entertainment for them. Yeah.
Did others in the community find the Scrum Master clinics to be helpful, and what were the major outcomes of those clinics?
When we initially started the Scrum Master clinic, we did that within a couple of teams. We had few members who participated, and the outcome was good. They felt it was empowering them to make decisions, and they found that, okay, Team A was doing something differently, and Team B was doing something different, and they could actually share that knowledge, and this actually improved, and the word of mouth started building up, and all the other teams from different departments and everybody started participating. So initially we had about 7 people who came in to participate, and then now we've got like 15 Scrum Masters who want to get into this area.